The Giants being linked to a former Cowboys wide receiver is not random. It is a warning about Jaxson Dart's support system. Not a signing, not a done deal, not a victory lap. A warning. Because when a 33-year-old former Dallas receiver with 6 1,000-yard seasons gets floated as a Giants fit, the real story is not nostalgia. The real story is trust. Do the Giants trust this wide receiver room enough for Dart right now? Or are Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh still searching for a veteran who can give their current starting quarterback easier answers? Nobody is seeing the bigger pattern clearly enough. This is not just one old NFC East name being thrown around. This is about whether Big Blue is quietly admitting the offense still needs proven reliability. And when you connect the dots, this rumor starts to feel much louder. Let's be honest about where things stand. The holes are clear, and this is where it gets real. The Giants have a trust problem in the passing game. Jaxson Dart is the current starting quarterback, and a starting quarterback cannot grow inside an offense built only on maybes. Maybe the young receivers take the next step. Maybe the timing improves. Maybe the route discipline becomes cleaner. Maybe the pressure down target emerges. That is not a plan. That is hope. And hope gets quarterbacks hit. Hope creates late throws. Hope turns normal third downs into survival downs. That phrase matters because wide receiver trust is not just about highlight catches. It is about being exactly where the quarterback expects you to be when the ball has to come out. The Giants also have a role problem. They can have bodies at wide receiver and still lack certainty. Numbers do not equal answers. Depth does not automatically equal dependability. Young talent does not automatically equal weekly reliability. If the route is late, Dart pays. If the receiver cannot separate at the right moment, Dart pays. If the offense has no veteran calm when the game gets tight, Dart pays. That is the pressure. The Giants cannot ask Dart to be the face of the new offense while giving him a support structure that is still searching for its adult in the room. They also cannot chase every recognizable name just because the resume looks shiny. That is the trap. A former Cowboys receiver brings production, name value, and rivalry heat. But he also brings age, role questions, and the risk of blocking younger players who need reps. So the Giants need clarity. Not excitement. Not nostalgia. Clarity. And that brings us to the former Cowboys receiver rumor that just put the entire wide receiver room back under the spotlight. The headline is that the Giants have been named a landing spot for a former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver. And not just any receiver. The profile is a 33-year-old former Cowboys fan favorite with 6 1,000-yard seasons. That overlay matters because it tells you this is not a random camp body suggestion. A receiver with that kind of production has proven he can carry real offensive responsibility. To a casual fan, 6 1,000-yard seasons means one thing. At his best, this was not a background player. This was a real weapon. But the age matters too. 33 is not a long-term build. It is not a 5-year plan. It is not a future core move. It is a role-player decision. And that is where the Giants have to be honest. If they are looking at a former Cowboys receiver, they are not looking for the next face of the franchise. They are looking for reliability, timing, route feel, veteran composure. Somebody who can help a young quarterback survive the messy parts of a season. That is legitimate. This is not cosmetic. Jaxson Dart does not need every receiver to be a superstar. He needs receivers who make the game cleaner. He needs targets who understand leverage. He needs players who do not panic when the defense disguises coverage. And a veteran with that resume at least deserves the conversation. Here is the part nobody is talking about. The Cowboys connection matters. Giants fans do not hear former Cowboys receiver like they hear any random free agent. That phrase has emotion attached to it. Rivalry, memory, annoyance, curiosity. If he helped Dallas before, the question becomes sharper. Could he help New York now? And would Giants fans accept that if it made Dart better? That is where I take a side. The Giants should explore the fit, but only under one condition. The role has to be defined before he walks into the building. He cannot arrive as a vague name value signing. He cannot come in just because the resume is impressive. He cannot take snaps from younger players unless he actually gives the offense something those young players do not. That is the line. If he is a dependable pressure down target, I am interested. If he is a veteran route technician who helps Dart settle games down, I am listening. If this is just an old NFC East name to generate buzz, I am out. Because the Giants are not rebuilding a memory wall. They are building an offense. And when you see the other veteran skill position names being connected to New York, this starts looking like a real pattern. The former Cowboys receiver is the headline, but he fits a wider offensive support question. The Giants were also named a top landing spot for a former Philadelphia Eagles running back. That matters because this is no longer just about one receiver rumor. It suggests New York is being viewed as a team that could still add familiar NFC East offensive help after the draft. That overlay matters because this is about pattern recognition. Cowboys receiver, Eagles running back, Giants offense, Jaxson Dart. The names change, but the theme stays the same. Can the Giants make life easier for their starting quarterback? And this is where it connects to the bigger picture. A young quarterback does not only need wide receivers. He needs the entire offensive environment to make sense. He needs a running game that prevents defenses from teeing off. He needs pass catchers who know how to settle into space. He needs coaches and veterans who reduce chaos. That is why the former Eagles running back link reinforces the main story. It is not the headline. It should not become the headline. But it shows the same concern from a different angle. The Giants may have talent. They may have options. They may have excitement. But do they have enough proven reliability? That is the Harbaugh question. Harbaugh is not here to build a cute offense. He is here to build a football team that can win ugly, survive injuries, protect its quarterback, and stop giving games away. Veteran offensive help can fit that mission, but only if it is practical. A former Eagles running back cannot just be a rivalry headline. A former Cowboys receiver cannot just be a curiosity click. Every veteran addition has to answer a football question. Can he stabilize a role? Can he protect Dart from chaos? Can he raise the floor without lowering the ceiling? That is the balance. Because if the Giants add too many older names, they risk slowing the young core. If they add nobody, they risk leaving Dart exposed to growing pains that could have been avoided. And when another former Eagles skill player enters the conversation, the offensive support pattern gets even harder to ignore. The second Eagles-related report adds one more layer to this. Another former Philadelphia Eagles star has been floated as a possible Giants offseason addition. Again, that does not mean a signing is done. It means the Giants keep showing up in conversations around veteran NFC East skill position help. That overlay matters because this is not random noise anymore. This is a cluster. A former Cowboys wide receiver linked to the Giants. A former Eagles running back suggested as a top landing spot. Another former Eagles star floated as a possible addition. And all of it circles back to the same central question. Is this offense complete around Jaxson Dart? I do not think the Giants are acting like it is. And honestly, they should not. The front office should keep scanning. That does not mean signing every familiar name. It means understanding where the offense still lacks certainty. The proof is in the type of player being discussed. These are not luxury concepts. They are support concepts. A receiver who has produced before. A running back who could add stability. A veteran skill player who already understands the pressure of the NFC East. That tells me the Giants are not just hunting stars. They are hunting answers. And that is exactly what a Dart-led offense needs. Not noise. Answers. The former Cowboys receiver matters most because wide receiver trust is the direct line to the quarterback. If Dart trusts a veteran on third down, the offense gets calmer. If the offense gets calmer, the whole team gets more dangerous. That is the proof. The Giants are still being connected to offensive help because the support structure around Dart is still the biggest question on the board. Hot take. The Giants should strongly consider the former Cowboys receiver, but only if he accepts a limited, Dart-focused role. And I am not backing down from that. That phrase matters because this cannot be about the veteran's old resume. It has to be about Dart's current development. My prediction is specific. The Giants will add or seriously explore at least one more veteran skill position player before training camp fully settles. That number matters because one reliable veteran can change the feel of an offense. It does not need to be a superstar move to matter. If I am wrong, I will come back to this video and own it. But I do not think I am wrong. Here is the divisive part. I would rather give Dart one proven veteran target than protect every young receiver just because fans like the upside. Upside is not a route on third down. Potential is not a catch in traffic. Development matters. But the quarterback matters more. That is the standard. Big Blue cannot build around Jaxson Dart with hope alone. The support has to be real. That is the identity statement. A former Cowboys receiver being linked to the Giants should make fans uncomfortable. Good. That means the debate is real. The Giants have to decide what matters more. Youth, familiarity, production, role clarity. And if the answer is a veteran receiver who helps Dart right now, Schoen has to consider it. So Giants fans, pick a side. Would you bring in a former Cowboys receiver if it gives Dart a steadier offense? Or is that the wrong kind of veteran shortcut? And be honest, do you trust the current Giants wide receiver room enough right now? If you are riding with the G-men through every free agency rumor, NFC East twist, And Harbaugh roster decision, you know where that subscribe button is. This offense has to grow up fast. Go Big Blue.